Oh, all right, let's stretch it out. Let's get ready for this, baby. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Honestly, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for love and support. Let's grab this. First try, you think so? I guess I don't need to replenish ammo. Oh man, I need to buy a PlayStation controller when I'm out. I just hate to fucking go spend $60 for a PlayStation controller right now, but I think I'm gonna need one, especially for Elden Ring next week. I think we just stop. I think we just stop at like Walmart today or Monday or something and just grab one. Might stop at Walmart on my way home and just pick up a new PlayStation controller. I mean, I'd love to get one with paddles on the back, but I'm just not buying one. You got the one you already have? Emily has one, not me. When do I switch outfits? Oh, yeah, this is like a story outfit. I feel like the camera is like really zoomed in. I know it's not, but I feel like it. And Vouch Play feels right for gaming. It just does in general. This is the last boss. I think it, I mean, unless something pops up that I'm not aware of, but. Did that too early. Forgot that was like a little. Oh, I thought I was gonna jump out of that. Essentially, at least 2 controllers. Well, I have the one. That's what I'm using. That's what I'm using right now is the one. Let's just revive and try again. Just trying to get the muscle memory back. This dude only has 1 health bar, so I'm just trying to build up my beta charges. What's wrong with this one? The sticks are just, like they're very touchy. Like it's really hard to get them out of the dead zone. Like if you've played on a controller, you know there's like a dead zone in which you can push on a stick and nothing happens before it actually moves. And they're just like really stiff, and they take a lot of force to get out of the dead zone. And then when it gets out of the dead zone, it snaps over really hard. Yeah. So it doesn't feel good to use. Oh, fuck. You always go back to the Sony brand ones because they just feel better, essentially. Essentially. We're just gonna try to go hard on this guy for a second, see what happens. We've about got him to his first break point. Yeah, we about got him to the first break point. I can't fucking miss that. Those are like the easy parries that I get all the time. Need to heal. Here it is. Just run away. Got lucky on that. I thought I hit that way too late. No, this isn't where I want to be. I'm too close. I can't fucking dodge at that rate. Let's run this back a couple times. Alright, his shield's down. This is good. Shield's good. Alright. Go like this. Getting to about half health. We're doing alright. Retribution. Let's take this. It gives me Taki for the last half. We've used a lot of fucking heals though, boys. We've used a lot of heals to get here. Please give me my fucking... God damn it. Come on, hurry up, game. I'm dead. This is going to be what makes it so hard, is trying to get this. Let's just use a pump. That's not what I meant to do, but it was on the wrong buttons. That's fine. The hardest part for me is going to be swapping, because like the sticks on this feel so bad to try to aim with. We'll try using the sticks. They just feel so bad because there's like no aim assist, not fast travel. Get out of that. The sticks just feel so bad for me, but he's like constantly attacking while you're doing it. So, and I don't want to use my auto revive there if I can avoid it. You can see like how bad I am like trying to aim. I don't want to steal Rusty's PlayStation controller and see if it helps. There with that. Tried to heal. It's already warmed up for the day. We'll look and see. I could use Taki early, but I still don't think that's going to really help. I think I need Taki for the last half, because that immunity, like that immortality, is definitely going to help. I could use it to like cheese. I could use it to cheese the aerial thing, but I would prefer not to. I'd rather have it for damage. I was trying to fill up my burst bar. I was trying to fill up my burst bar on that. Let's see what we got here. We'll see how far we can get him down with this. Probably not as far as I'd like, but if we could catch another beta trance, I'd be pretty happy. We're not going to get that lucky, but it'd be awesome. We got him down to where he's going to go yellow here in a second. There it is. Now he's going to do a bunch of like irritating shit. He should teleport to me, right? Come on, I can do better than that. I can do better than this, right, chat? We can do better than this. Oh, that was good. Fuck it. We have plenty of pumps. I'm not worried about it. We've got plenty of pumps. It's going to suck to use them here, but we're just going to do it. You're doing great, dude. I'm getting wrecked. I was doing good until that happened. I was feeling really good about my run until that fucking attack just hit. I felt really good until that attack happened. Oh, dude, I thought it showed I still had retribution. Come on. We got there, I think. Please teleport. Jesus Christ, what are you even doing? Why was it not fucking teleporting? That was so irritating. And I have no more... I need to heal. Heal, please, please, please. What is this? What is this, chat? What is this? What's going on? Birthday control. I thought you just said birth control would be here by 3 p.m. tomorrow. To Rhea, you didn't have to do that. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Decision time? I don't know what the decision is. Don't make... I don't want to have to make it fast. Oh, you win? You cooked. We cooked, chat. Teray's the goat. You guys have no idea. She is literally a goat. Thank you for the support. Time to spam skills. We're gonna find out. Midnight Black Edition? That's fucking awesome. What is this? Is this like a new talkie? Are you gonna please like go to it? Did you see how it like would not give me what I needed? I've got a minute. We're just gonna drill the fuck out of it, right? Oh, we don't want that. Here for the GGs. Dude, it's been a good game so far, Joey. It's been a good game so far. As long as I don't mess the fucking buttons, I'll be okay. Dude, she is slaughtering this thing. Dude, I want this outfit for a New Game Plus with the white wing and all. At least they gave her Inez's booba. Hope you play all this, no spoilers. I would bang, all for sure. Bro is good though. I mean, we might come back and revisit it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Johannes. We might come back and play it, but we definitely go into Elden Ring next. I gotta just try to get the Elden Ring counter working. It's honestly hard to gift for. Dude, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Teraya. You get the happy ending? The happy easy ending? I'll take it. I'll take it. It was a good ending. Would love to hug Eve. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't, right? I gotta try to figure out why these girls are so much prettier than First Descendants. Yeah. I gotta try to figure out why my on-screen counter is not working. It's gotta just not be reading from Fossabot. It's gotta be the issue. Fuck is this?
未来を見通すのは果てなき空の中から一つの星を見つけ出すようなものです。
Who is this?
私は人類の未来に尽くすだけ。ただ未来が私を受け入れる保証はどこにもない。
Oh, it's just the Mother Spear saying fuck you? Fuck this bitch.
それでも私は父のため決して諦めない。この私を生み出し知恵を授けた今は亡き父のため。イブ、あなたこそが未来なのか私は確かめに来たのです。マザースフィア。
Just put your sword through her real
はじめ
quick.
ましてイブ、それにリリー。本当にあなたは期待以上の成果を上げてくれました。ただ最後の決断だけは残念でしたけど感謝はしています。
待ってください。何の話をしてるんです？
Just want to cut a bitch?
これにて完了です。
This concludes the Eve protocol? You think so? Well, the Mother Spear's kind of not been good for humanity, so... Interesting. I can see why they set up for a second game, though.
ではさようなら。
待って、まだ聞きたいことがあります。
What's getting ready to happen, chat?
まずい。
This doesn't look good, chat.
イブ、数が多すぎます。リリ
She did say, Lord have mercy. She doesn't like to lose. That's why I said we should have killed that bitch where she stood. Her android maintenance, absolutely, love. I would do the same.
これがあなたの望む未来。それなら私も受けて立つまで。
Interesting. Such badass boss, best ending in the game. We'll definitely mess with it. Oh, that's a different attack than what I thought it was going to be, because it's not her actual regular attack. This is interesting. Especially if you're an Elden Ring fan, it's straight up like Elden Ring. Then I've never played Elden Ring, so we're going to find out, right? Like, we've played a very little bit of Elden Ring one time, so I'm excited to get in and play more of it. I'm excited to get in and play more. I want to see how Elden Ring is. Like, we made it to... The first time we played quite a bit in the beginning, but that was about it. And we did mostly a mage playthrough. I want to do a melee playthrough. Because I think the melee playthrough is going to be better. So, how many more of these things are they? Is it just like you fighting? You only started Elden Ring recently? I hear it's good, though. Like a year ago. That's recently. That was an interesting end. You're like just fighting into the end. That wasn't bad, guys. What'd you guys think? Dude, Emmanuel, we can only hope First Descendant's like melee combat is going to be this good. It's slow combat, but a massive game. Yeah. I mean, we've played the combat. We played the combat in this pretty slow because we did like no hit runs for a while, or like no heal runs for a while. So I'm pretty used to that. So, honestly, guys, I had a lot of fun playing Stellar Blade. I was really surprised at how good this game was. I I was really, really, really surprised at how good this game was. The story was kind of like what it was, but I think the combat, the animations, the graphics, some of the narrative elements were decent. And I still think it may be a little bit overpriced for what it is. If you could pick this up on sale on Steam, I think it's an easy get. I think it's an easy cop, though. I'll skip ahead. Okay, I'll skip ahead in a second. I do think it's good, though. Great playthrough. I had a lot of fun. I'm happy you guys just hung out and enjoyed the playthrough. I appreciate you guys that decided to stick with me through this while we were doing this instead of just, you know what I mean, dropping off every stream. So thank you guys, everybody that hung out and just enjoyed the playthrough. Feels good to watch the other ending without the second playthrough. Whatever works right. You get to experience the joy of it. Congrats with the finish. I had a lot of fun with it. There's a scene at the end. I'm trying to just like chill. We'll get to the end. We'll check the scene. We'll go through all that, and then we'll probably have to end stream for the day. It's basically like Rusty's mom's birthday, and we literally got a message when Rusty came up to me, and she was like, "Hey, we've got to be an hour away in 2 hours." So it was fun to watch. I'm seriously glad you guys had fun with it. I tried to keep it fun. I think for like Elden Ring, I'm not going to do like no potion playthroughs and stuff because it does kind of drag it out some. And I think I definitely drug out some of the fights longer than I probably should have as a viewer, right? Like for you guys watching, I think I definitely drug out some of the fights longer than I probably should have just by me trying to do them one way or the other. So I think I'll try to be mindful of that during Elden Ring. That way we can move through it because there's so many bosses and get stuck when we actually get stuck, you know? 8 to 10. I mean, I would say, I don't think 8's a bad score. I don't think it was a 9 of 10 game. Maybe 8.5. I definitely, she fought through the whole night. Jesus. Literally anywhere, so you're going to get your ass kicked if you walk around randomly. I think we're going to do random. We've got some community members that have played the game. So if I like start getting frustrated or whatever, I'll ask people questions. But for the most part, I'm just going to kind of enjoy myself and have fun with it. If I'm someplace where it's just like, I'm like beating my head against the wall and I'm like, guys, and people are like, Randy, come back to this like in 5 levels. You're at the wrong level. Yeah, so I'll just get out and explore. I'll just work with the community, like if I'm having questions, and I'll be like, guys, dude, like I'm seriously not making any headway. Should I come back? And then if like everybody in chat is like, yeah, just come back, then we'll leave and come back to it. But if everybody in chat's like, no, man, you got this. Like this is really good. You definitely want to do it. Then I'll do it. We'll have a lot of like a lot of chat interactivity in that sense. 10 hours on a famously difficult boss. Next playthrough, when exploring style, beat him second try. I can see that. Well, that's the thing. Like, I'll make sure that I don't get stuck doing dumb shit. PC port loves to drop your inputs way too much, messing up your timing on rolls or blocks. Honestly, Stormy, I didn't have much of an issue on controller. I didn't play it on keyboard and mouse. I know we've got a couple other people that played on keyboard and mouse. So they could probably say if they were having issues with dropped inputs. But I can tell you controller, even though this controller didn't feel good to use, I felt like my inputs were pretty good. The only time I had issues were my issues, where like I would block too early for a parry, and I would try to let off and pull block up, but there's like a little delay due to the animations, and I would just get hit, but that was just a timing issue. Did they switch her to short hair? Or was it just the way it looked from that scene? I'm curious how the second one is going to be. Good way to know if you're in the wrong place. The smithing stones are much higher level. than you can spend, that's probably going to be a good thing to know. We'll have fun with it, though. I want it, so I'm going to have a death counter that, like, VIPs and mods and myself can count, like, use. But it's going to be a chat bot. But I'm going to work on trying to find a way to put it, receive symbol of legacy, entering talking mode with symbol of legacy into a fusion state. Interesting. Got a lot of stuff. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but like basically, I was saying something and it was a really good point, and that's where we were. But yeah. So, oh, if I can get the counter to show up on screen, I will. I'm just having issues because I have to use a Stream Elements overlay, and I have to use like JavaScript and CSS and HTML. But it has to be able to access my FossaBot in order to read the file. And I think it's just having issues connecting to FossaBot through the API call. So I have to kind of work on some stuff with that, and ChatGPT ought to be able to help me out. If I can get that to work, then we'll display them on screen. If I can't get it to work, then I won't. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, there's an OBS extension you can use. I play on 2 different PCs. So my game and my death file is on a different PC than my OBS. So I cannot use the OBS extension because the OBS extension reads your game files, and my game files are on a different PC. You think Stellar Blade was easily a 9 out of 10 because of the combat? I think the combat was good. I still, personally, for me, it was probably like an 8, 8.5. I think it was a good game. Like, you know, I would say it's probably an 8. For me, but I still think it was a good game. Like, 8's not a bad game, right? Like, typically, I normally do stuff out of like 5. And I would say it was like a solid like 3.5 out of 5. So it was an above average game. The combat was fun, like the aesthetics were fun and everything. It was like a solid 3 out of 5. Which is good. I mean, 3 out of 5 is a game I would recommend to people. And I would tell people to play. I think it would have been, if the price point was a little bit lower, it could have easily been a 4. But there's like a lot of mods and stuff in this game, so there's a lot you can do to make it better. So I think it's easily a 3 out of 5 game. 3.5 out of 5. Would definitely recommend it to people. 8's not bad because I can understand because of how weak the story is. Yeah, like the story really didn't lock me in. Normally I have a hard time playing games for stories because most of the time I literally don't care. It's very rare that I find a game that has a story that I actually think is interesting, entertaining, and relatable. Expedition 33 is probably one of the few that I've had that happen recently. Like, Expedition 33, there were enough characters and enough diversity that I could find people that I enjoyed and thought were, like, made sense. And the way they played the characters off of each other, I thought Expedition 33 did it really good. But there are definitely a lot of times where I just don't give a fuck about the story. Yeah, Alpaca was a good story, but annoying gameplay. Yeah, I mean, like, 14 had some really good stuff to it. The problem was, like, 14 was, like, a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Like, there were times where 14's story was a fucking banger. And there were times when Final Fantasy 14 was just a fucking slog. And you were just like, God damn, can we please get to the next thing, right? So sometimes it was good and sometimes it was bad. But for an MMO, it was insanely good. Pacing was then non-existent and then great. Yeah, they definitely had some issues with it. But their own team for Stellar Blade will tell you that they could have improved the story by quite a bit. So, but guys, unfortunately, this is where I gotta go. I gotta go do some family stuff. Seriously, thank you guys, a million% for hanging out with me today. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the bits. Thank you guys for the love. Thank you guys for all the follows. Thank you guys for the good conversation over on YouTube. Thank you guys for all the love and support and good conversation here on Twitch. We will be live tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be playing First Descendant. And then we'll be playing Elden Ring. Tuesday we don't stream. So I'm not going to be streaming Tuesday, but I should be part of the First Descendants, like First Descendant Fest during the live stream. So I will be present for that. And then Wednesday we'll be going over everything. Thursday we'll be getting the new update. So we'll be running split streams on Monday, Wednesday, or Elden Ring. Thursday we'll probably play First Descendant all day. Or not, yeah, we'll probably play First Descendant all day on Thursday because of the new update. Tuesday I'm off. I think I'm just going to stream on Thursday. I'm just going to end it early like we said. I think I'm just going to stream on because I need to get YouTube shit done. And especially with me getting, like, not having time to do YouTube stuff today, I definitely need to use the Tuesday time to, like, get a bunch of talking head pieces and stuff scheduled on the YouTube channel so people have things to watch. Yeah, I didn't forget. No. The Thursday stream sucks because Thursday is like a brand new update for the game. And it's not a big update, but it's a new update, and I cannot stream long because I have commitments again. Am I going to wear it? I don't think I don't know. I've talked about it a couple times. I don't know if I'm going to go as Judge or if maybe I'll just throw a jacket and a hat on and just go that way and just try to be more Randy. I haven't decided. It's up to me. I mean, I think we're definitely moving more towards like just me being me and honest and chilling, and I think you guys like it, so we'll have to see. But yeah, so that's going to be that. That's going to be my plan for the week. Unfortunately, Thursday, I'm not going to be able to stream as long as I'd like, but we'll do what we can. And then Friday, Saturday, we'll start getting caught back up. We'll start making new YouTube content. We'll mess with the Descendants, the updated, like whichever Descendants they worked on rebalancing, and then we'll go from there. So love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I'm just starting to ramble, so I'm going to get off of here. Wear the Twitch hat. Yeah, I'm thinking Twitch hat and a blazer. Love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for support. I'm gonna hop off here. Know somebody loves you. I'll see you guys all later. You guys take care. Love you guys, and bye.